Hey, folks, welcome into the Week 10 Thursday Night Football Sleeper Edition, brought to you by the FF Squared podcast. There's not been much finance talk during the football season. It's been so chaotic and everything going on. That's been more pushed to the offseason, so we'll look to get back to that soon. But we got a good matchup on tap. It's myself, co-host Pru Patel. How you doing today, Pru?
Good. How's it going?
It's going good. It's every day. Like, every day I think I have enough time to get everything done. It never happens, right? And then we go up against it. Like, oh, yeah, no wonder that's what happened. So, yeah, frantically doing this off the last minute like usual. It's just life, I guess, right?
That is life.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting matchup. I did clown this matchup on Twitter where I was like, oh, gosh, we have to watch the Panthers and the Bears. But, there's actually some fun, entertaining, prop picks we can kind of hit on. And it's football. Like, I can't really complain too much, right? Like, we get an NFL game with some quality players, some young, promising rookies, things like that. Everybody loves stealing. DJ Moore, those guys. And then we, dive down a little bit further. It's like, oh, yeah, hey, maybe Mingo's going to show up. Cole Kmet's doing his thing. Like, there's some players. So for fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, when I was looking at the player props, I'm like, who's do I go under? Like, it was the first game where I was, actually looking for unders. But then you had, Terrence Marshall had, a over-under of receiving yards at 7 yards. I was like, I kind of wanted to go under, but that is such a risky bet. Like, one catch, and he'd make it. But he hasn't, in the past 4 weeks, he has not caught a single ball over 7 yards.
I think we can safely say it's over for him. I don't know. Maybe it comes back, but it's been rough.
I was like, I'll pick this and look out. Look, he has a 70-yard game.
Of course, right? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll talk about prop in a second. Like, one of the players who I'm going to be hitting on today is someone who I've hit on the past and it does not work out. So it's an interesting prop idea. I was just like, man, the number's so good. Like, I got to chase it. And yeah, with Tyson Bagent is running out with his under. I was like, you know what? The under on his rushing is interesting. Like, it could work, but it's, I don't know, man. He's a mobile quarterback. Like, all you need is 1 or 2 runs. Like, that's not always good. We take those unders because then you're actively rooting against the player, right? You're like,
Right.
Oh, I don't want to do this. Okay, all right. But yeah, you want to jump into this first prop and then we can kind of go from there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll pull it up. All right, so we got Chuba Hubbard over 56.5 rushing and receiving yards combined. Why don't you run us through this prop that you're talking about?
Yeah. I was trying to look into the Bears matchup, and the Bears have been bad on defense. I mean, they're getting a little bit better here and there, but I think it's very matchup centric when they excel. But they've been horrendous against the running backs, right? If it's especially if they're efficient running backs on the ground and through the air, which Chuba Hubbard is. And I initially was going to go on the over on the rush, but then I said, you know what, the game script could be a little weird, and he could make his yardage in the receiving. So that's mainly it. Is the Chicago Bears are known to give up points to the running back. And I think on the season they're ranking in the top. No, they're actually pretty below. Where are they? Oh, Bears, 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 Bears. I had this up. Oh, nope, they're here. Eighth. Yep. They're eighth on the season in fantasy points to Bears, and to running backs. And I know a lot of people pick on the Panthers because they give up a ton of points, but the Bears are horrendous there as well.
Yeah.
Ironically, in the last 5 weeks, the Bears are ranked 30th, which is good. But they've played the Raiders before they kicked the head coach out. Then they played the Chargers without, I think, Austin Eckler just coming back, and then New Orleans, which is interesting.
Yeah, I was looking at the yards per carry. It's 3.2. That's actually really low. And I was kind of surprised by that number. For interesting for running backs, I was like, huh. You think the Bears, but they've still been giving up a ton of points. Obviously, there's some touchdowns and stuff like that. But yeah, it's surprising how you're talking about their 30th last few weeks. I was like, weird.
Yeah, but their receptions in the last 2 weeks, they're second with 32 receptions to running backs, and the number one in yardage in 344.
Yeah.
So it's going through the air, and I think that's why I pivoted to the all-purpose yards.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because there's only one more team that's given up more targets, and that's the Chargers to the running backs. Mm-hmm. But if you look at actually per yards per touch, like receiving, it's massive. I don't think anyone's actually given up more receiving yards. Nope, no one has. It's by 150. They've given up the most receiving yards running backs. Like
Yep.
it's a landslide amount. Like people just target running backs against them. So yeah, I like this idea. It's kind of safe in the fact you're hitting from both angles. Like he's still going to get groundwork. I did find it interesting when Reich was talking about they're going to get both him and Sanders touches involved on the ground. Like they're going to design certain plays for him, certain plays for Sanders. So they kind of have to. He talked about them making sure the right guy's on the field at the right time. They're calling the right play, and I was like, I feel like as a head coach and offensive coordinator, you should know that. But yeah, like it's like you're called to play for the guy. I get it. It's just an interesting offense, man, in general.
Yeah, I think we need to do a deep dive with the league winners on the offense for the Panthers. Is it Bryce Young's fault or is it the offense's fault? It seems like Bryce Young is locking in on a specific play and is very predictable, and that's why he keeps getting those pick sixes. So it'll be interesting. I'm actually interested in looking at that kind of tape for this offense. Is it entirely on Bryce Young and bad decisions by him, or is it the offensive play calling?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. Like if Thielen's not getting open, no one else is getting open on this offense, right? Like, which it's so sad that they're so dependent on Thielen, who's an ancient wide receiver. And been really good, but like just shows the lack of options he has. And I think Hayden Wink's pointed this out. They're second to last in completion percentage against zone. Like he's just not. He's struggling against zone coverage. So it's part of it's across the middle, things like that. But yeah, you want to see kind of them improve and step forward and move along for the rookie quarterback. So I mean,
Would
you
you
know, we
buy Bryce Young in Dynasty for a low end 2024 pick?
yeah, like a late
First,
first you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah,
late first.
yeah. Like I feel like you're not literally losing anything at that cost. Like it's a late first, but like the player equivalent that's coming out next year, like I'd much rather take the 101 and just go with it. It's just I'm not really like super interested in him in general. Like I do because he doesn't run a lot. Like there's not a lot of point, and that offense kind of sucks. So, flip that against Stroud, who is going lower than him in drafts. It's like holy crap, CJ Stroud's that guy. We haven't seen it from him, but like I still trust the talent and how good of a quarterback he was at Alabama. They just got to figure out a way to get him weapons and like better weapons because Sanders has not hit well. Like Hayden Hurst really hasn't done anything. It's really been Adam Thielen's been the bright spot of this offense. Like they thought Sanders was going to be that guy. Not gonna. He's splitting work, and he was basically relegated third string last week. So
Yep.
yeah, that's a big swing in the whiff from the GM. So yeah, I'm curious to see what they do in this offseason because they don't have their first. So like they can't get a high end wide receiver. I mean, it would be
Nope.
great for them to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Right, like that just fixes a lot of the problems, but
Yep.
that's obviously not going to happen. So I don't know. You trade for T Higgins because T's having his own issues, or do something like that. You find a way, just find a way to get another competent wide receiver on that team, which is interesting because that could actually lead us into our next prop bet. I'm not sure if they're organized correctly or not, but if I did this right, let me double check. Yeah, so it's this reminds me of the Mingo prop. So DJ Chark is out, so they don't have DJ Chark, right? So they need another receiving option. And Mingo's actually he hasn't been terrible. I know people are like, "Oh, you're betting on Mingo?" Like, yeah, I'm betting on Mingo. You can see he's been up and down. Obviously, it did not work out last week. The week before it did, but he's been solid. So I'm going to trust on the rookie to grow. It's only 30 yards. I was only need a couple receptions, but like the Bears have their managed coverage rates are really high. And this actually works well for Bryce Young. So why I'm kind of into that because they're top 10 in man coverage rate. And with DJ Chark being out or likely out, that means Jonathan Mingo steps up and he's going to be running a lot more routes. And, they're going to see him. He's going to be second in team in routes and ideally targets. So this is kind of thought process behind it. So 30.2, like 32.5 is not a very high number. I think he's going to get over that. I'm not saying he's going to smash it. Like he might end up with like 45 yards in this game, but like I think it's a reasonable number for him to hit because they play so much man coverage. And Bryce has been a lot better against man coverage, aka 2 weeks ago when he went up against Houston and they won the game against Houston. Like you saw kind of the difference in this offense. So I'm trusting in the talent of Bryce Young. I know Mingo's been up or down, but in the offense and rolling with Mingo against the Bears defense.
Yeah, I mean, and not to pick on the Bears, but the Bears are giving up 25 completion a game at 7 yards per completion. So, um, Mingo just needs a 10% share or something to hit on this. So
I don't think it's unreasonable. I mean, he could put up five freaking yards again, and it'd be like, oh, done. You know, it is kind of is what it is. So, before we jump into the other two, we'll just jump into our free square prop bet, which Sweeper loves to give out this week. It's Bryce Young, freaking one passing yard. That's all we need,
Yeah.
folks. We're like, just lock it in. Bryce Young, first completion, get it out of the way, and you can roll with it. So this is the nice, like, easy peasy one. I
The
was struggling
funny,
with a few of these, but this one's
the right. The funny thing is, like, I logged onto the sleeper app to basically go pick the under on
Mhm.
his passing yards, and they're like, "Nope, we're gonna discount it to half a yard." I'm like,
You're
"Oh,
like,
great.
son of a biscuit.
All right, it's free either way, I guess."
You're like free money, right? I like money. I like free money. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah, like you see where his passing yards have been, based on the game scripts and how they've done. Obviously, the game 2 weeks ago was a lot better. Last week that game was rough. It did not go very well. Like they just struggled honestly, and we thought maybe it would work better against Indy, but the game against Miami 217. So I don't know. I think he'll be over 200 in this game. I don't think he's gonna be much more over 200 because their original prop was 216.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just I would not feel confident like taking the 216 in this game to tell you the truth, but like I still think he can beat that prop, but it's a much riskier prop bet to make than
Yeah.
$1 bet, right?
Yeah. I mean, Carolina. I mean, sorry, no, it's against the Bears. So yeah, he could have hit that 216 easily.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah,
yep, free square. Go
we
get
like
it.
the free squares, folks. We like the free squares. Let's take those free squares.
Yeah.
We don't usually do defensive props, so I'm gonna kind of let you elaborate and take the defensive prop and tell us
Yeah.
why you're taking Montez Sweat over one, like basically hitting a sack in this game.
Yeah, so you got the signing new toy in Chicago in Montez Sweat. He comes over from the Redskins. Um, he's not as good as Chase Young was in his prime, but Sweat is still pretty good. He's got a burst um, off the line, and in this matchup, you got the sixth and the seventh team giving up the highest sack percentages. Um, in Chicago and Carolina. They rank sixth and seventh in the percentages of passing plays that result in a sack. So I have a feeling that the defensive coordinator is gonna stunt open Sweat, put him one on one on the one of the tackles, and have a coming out party with at least one sack. I think it's more of a gut feel coupled with the high percentage of sacks that both teams kind of give up. So I think that's where I'm coming from. I think this I could see him hit that one sack. I mean, even if he goes in for a tandem sack, you hit this, right? I don't know. If he gets half a sack, I don't know if you hit this. You don't think you do,
I mean, technically, you got. So I'm not sure they do when it's like a tie, like it's a
right?
toss up. They might just be like just defer it and just say nobody wins if you get half a sack. So
Right.
you can have a sack.
Yeah.
What I like, like you're talking about Chase Young. I think Sweat's just a better overall player. Like he's a
Hmm.
good run defender too. So like he's on the field a lot. Like he's just Chase Young's just not healthy. So if he gets healthy, that would be great for him and them. But yeah, I think Montez Sweat's like a really undervalued player in the NFL. And you'll see tonight he's going to pressure Bryce Young and he's going to try to keep rocket on him. And he's going to do a lot of things where going to make his night a lot harder than it would have been without Montez Sweat on the field. So like I like where you're coming from on this one.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, if you look on the season, Carolina has given up 8.5% of their pass plays to a sack, but in the last 3 weeks, it's jumped up to 11.38%,
Yeah, that's
which
that's
is
not great.
yeah,
That's honestly that's actually the level that Sam Howell is currently at. He's brought it down to 11% sack rate. So yeah, you want to see that get fixed. We were talking about Stroud earlier. His sack rate is at 6%. So like you see the levels of difference with these guys. So yeah, like 11's high. It's one of the higher rates in the league, right? If you're double digits, like that's a problem. And this more gets back to their line and the issues they've had with the offensive line. Yeah, that guy covering the Seahawks for High Point, he sucks. But yeah, and but yeah,
fellow high point.
yeah, so it's some fun stuff.
It's
fun.
fine, Aaron. The Ravens are going to do the same thing they did to Seattle to the Browns. You can put
Yeah.
that in your
Ooh,
preview.
smoke. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, Browns. Let me tell you what that Ravens team is for. You guys look really good. This might be getting a little off topic, but goddamn, Ravens are good, man. Like that was just so ugly.
We can talk about the Ravens all podcast. It's fun.
Like, we have prop bets, but you know what? Let's just pump up the Ravens. No big deal. But yeah, like I think Sweat's a solid bet if you're trying to chase a sack in this game. Sacks are super like they're up and down, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
But this is a fun way to go about it, different a different type of bet, which we don't normally care about usually because we're mostly offensive. But it's nice to bring a little defense into the game. Root for a defensive player. So if you're looking for somebody on defensive end, watch number 98, Mr. DeMontez Sweat. Like he's an impact player, and he
Yeah,
makes
and like you said, you don't like doing unders because you're rooting against the guy. I mean, the flip side of that is just go on the defense side of the opposite team and pick the over, and then you're still rooting for a player. So,
yeah.
I
It'd
thought
be
this
funny
was a fun one to put in there.
It'd be nice if they started doing like pancake blocks and stuff on offensive linemen, right? So you can start rooting for offensive linemen. They're like, "Oh, fat guy, get him, block him." Yes.
Wait, is that a data they track? Pancake blocks? That would
Yeah,
be a
I'm not sure who tracks it, but yeah, somebody does. It's like just blowing them up. It's really weird. I don't know how they necessarily do it, but like I've seen it before. I'm like, oh yeah. I remember the first time I heard that on Manny. I was like, what is a pancake block? I was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, that's fun.
we know what a pancake block is because we got Pancake Pat Richard in our arsenal.
It's
His
like
nickname is Pancake Pat. He just
he's pretty
pancakes.
good. Yeah, I mean, is that actually his nickname?
Yeah, that's his nickname. That's his nickname with the Ravens flock, like, and within the
Oh,
team. He
man,
literally has a whole thing with about pancakes too, and whatnot. So
that's wild. That is wild. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
Pancake Pat. Yep.
All right. So where is our last bet? I think it's Ravens Moody. Hey,
Oh,
there he is.
Mooney, the first
So
bear.
Mr.
Well,
Darnell
oh no,
Mooney, let me tell you, it's been an adventure with Mooney. He's hit this number in 3 out of the last 4 games, as you can see.
he's hit it all 4 games.
Actually, no, he's hit all 4. He hit the last 4.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I can't do math. So yeah, I'm an idiot. So he's gone over this number 4 straight games. Realistically, like I just don't trust Carolina's defense. Mooney's the clear wide receiver 2 on that offense. I know they've involved Komet. Komet's been good, but like we're rolling with Mooney, and this is kind of the thing, right? Where it's like the Panthers play cover 3 at the highest rate in the NFL. So this is how Mooney's going to get his target rate because against cover 3, DJ Moore's target share has decreased. It's only 19%. So Beige is spreading it out more. So this opens it up the field to Mooney because he's the clear number 2, and he's going to see looks. So expect Mooney to be involved. I know I picked this a couple weeks ago. Put up a bagel on Thursday Night Football. We're hoping that does not continue this week. So we're reversing the trends. Trying to unjinx myself here with this one. But yeah, you're not asking for a lot here from Mooney. All he needs is one big play because he's a deep threat or a couple. And just go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Thursday night game where DJ Moore just went ballistic. I don't know, like what was he like all the receiving yards or something like that?
Yeah, I think there was not a single wide receiver who had another yard in that game. It was all DJ Moore. That game was bonkers.
Yeah, that was bonkers. I mean, the regression just from that game is in Mooney's favor in this game. But I fully envision the Panthers to zone man match DJ Moore. So I think Mooney will have his chances to be open and sit pretty in a wide open zone. It's now up to Bryce Young to deliver the ball.
Yep.
I mean, sorry.
Tyson Bagent, baby.
Yeah, Tyson Bagent, long quarterback.
Tyson Bagent's an interesting quarterback, to say the least.
Right.
Not a long-term option, but he's got some moxie, and it's funny. Like you use that word, and it's only for like white guys. They use that word, I swear. Like they're always be like talk about a white guy who's like not good, but he's showing some gumption and stuff. It's like they throw those trigger words around for him. But
Mingo or Foreman.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna play Foreman. Like to tell you the truth, like
safer bet.
Yeah. Like I
Foreman's a safer bet. Yeah.
We were talking about with Aaron this morning actually, where I was like, I don't trust him that much. But when I'm talking about like Mingo characters, like that's a bridge too far, my friends. Like we're not going that way.
Yeah, and then the Panthers haven't been that great against the Russ defense. The last 3 weeks, maybe yes, but overall, no. So Foreman's definitely the safer bet.
Yeah, because they're giving up 24 points a game to 29 points a game to opposing running backs. Yeesh. Like the Panthers get gashed. It's not good rush defense, man.
Yeah, I mean if you like do it to the last 5 weeks, they still lead the leagues in 25.1 points in the last 5 weeks.
That's brutal.
It is just when you look at the last 3 weeks is where they kind of go down towards the bottom, which is kind of weird. Um, so, but
Yeah, like
uh,
I think they're giving up on the season. I mean, it's not a ton of rush attempts. They're like 10th in rush attempts allowed. They just get gashed. It's like almost 1,000 yards on 200 rush attempts. Like that's just
right,
5 yards a clip. 11 rushing touchdowns. So this is likely how Foreman gets home tonight. If you're playing him in fantasy, that's how he gets home
yeah,
with a touchdown. It's just
Foreman over Mingo, definitely.
yeah, I think that's a safe play. Like I don't want to get too detailed, too wild with it. But yeah, it's an interesting game tonight. I can't say I'm super excited to watch it if I wasn't a fantasy football junkie like myself. But like, there's pieces like we're talking about. Like you're gonna be starting DJ Moore no matter what, just because he's too good. And same thing on the other end. Like you lock in some Adam Thielen every week. Like he's a wide receiver one. You go with him. And you just those two guys, and then outside of that, it's really just Cole Kmet, and then these fun little props we got. Like we did. Mooney's a deeper league guy, but if you're desperate, I don't mind actually firing me up as like a wide receiver 3-4 this game. Just because don't trust the defense. I don't know. But yeah, that's where we're at so far.
Well, I mean, come on, we have horrendous offenses, but horrendous defenses as well. So hopefully
So
we
they
get some good points,
so they balance each other out. It's like
right?
it'll be fun,
Uh,
right? It's like well,
I don't know. I think both D lines are going to overwhelm the O lines. I think that's going to get ugly there. I think the matchup favors the D lines too drastically on both sides of the ball.
well, yeah, I think that's why you took the sack, right? Because it makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah,
And I mean,
it's going to be an ugly game, an ugly, ugly game.
it's a 38-point over under, so we're not going to see a lot of points in this game, unfortunately. Which when you have a rookie quarterback and well, actually two rookie quarterbacks,
Right?
one who's more unknown than the other, it's just like things can go awry rather quickly with this game. So it'll be entertaining, yeah. And like Aaron says, Carolina's defense is the start of the week. He's been
Uh,
on fire, by the
he's
way.
been on fire
He's
there.
been like 100% the last 3 weeks. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you're doing it. But yeah, if you have the Panthers defense, fire them up. It should be fun. So yeah. I don't know what their expected point total is, but I think they're going to go over it.
Yeah. It looks like Aaron had another question.
Oh,
Aaron's
wow.
just popping them out, man.
Yeah,
Batter stack Mingo and Young or Mooney and ooh, this
don't
is
make me do
interesting.
this. Don't make me do this.
I'm gonna go Mingo and Young.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Peyton, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like we were talking about this earlier.
Do you
I guess.
trust Pageant? Is the
Do I?
question.
I mean, I don't trust a lot of these options in this
Well, I
game.
mean, like he's answering his question himself. Carolina's his defense. You got to go with the Bear stack, right?
Well, then
I
you
mean,
want
you
the
got to go with
Carolina.
the Carolina stack. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mingo
you
and
got to go
Young,
with it.
baby. Trust
Yeah,
Bryce. In Bryce, we trust. Trust the Munchkin. He will
yeah,
lead you to the promised lands. That's what we want.
yeah.
Pure
And
entertainment factor. Like it's just
gi-
I don't know.
given
Like
Aaron's defense of the week, we're going. we're not taking the Bears.
the steps to perfect. Yeah. Well, there is that option, or you could just not watch the game. Like I think that might be the much safer play. Is maybe we just don't watch the game. I don't know if it's that bad. But yeah, so this is more like the game for deeper league players, right? Where you're in these 32 team leagues, 16 team leagues, stuff like that, where you're playing a lot of these guys,
Hmm.
these ancillary pieces. Like this is the type of game where you kind of got in the nuts and bolts, and it's not San Francisco 49ers. Like, all right, you're playing these four guys. It's not the freaking Philadelphia Eagles. You're playing we're branching out a little bit this week. We don't have the best game in the world. Same thing with Sunday Night Football. But hey, these guys still matter. It's gonna be fun. I really want to see just development from Bryce Young. Like that's the thing I want to focus on the most in this game and see like him continually improve.
The funny thing is, though, like I feel like um, the Bears have had the Panthers number. They pulled one over on that draft day trade on the Bears. It would be just funny if they continue to just embarrass the Panthers on Thursday
I
night
mean
football. Just to it's like, hey, you guys picked Bryce Young and gave us all these
everything.
picks.
The world, yeah. It's like the Thanos meme where he's like, "What did it cost?" It's like everything. Yeah, that's basically what it costs. Like they desperately need a wide receiver, and I don't know why they decided to trade DJ Moore. They should have freaking traded Burns. If I still don't understand that move. Like I get it, they didn't want to trade Brian Burns, but like that seems like a mistake on their end. But live and learn. I guess you can't really do anything about it now. So like you could go back in
Right.
time and be like, "Hey, can we actually get that pick back that we traded you guys?" Like, cool, thanks. We really need that. Yeah. But yeah,
Hindsight's 2020.
it's a fun game. So like we can prop back on these pops a little bit again. Let's recap real quick. So we're taking the Darnell Mooney over 29.5 receiving yards. We're taking Jonathan Mingo over 32.5 receiving yards. We are taking the Bryce Young, the free square, smash it. One passing yard. That's all we need, folks. Easy peasy. Go with that. We're taking over 0.5 sack for Montez Sweat. And we're doing over on the Chuba Hubbard, 56.5 rushing and receiving yards on tonight's Thursday Night Football. Fun sleeper picks fest. So go ahead and lock in those prop bets and take it to the bank, folks. I think we are 8 of the last 11 the last 2 weeks. We were hoping to keep it rolling. I'll be keeping track of this game on Twitter. Like once again, like I'll be doing that whole fun stuff for y'all to pay attention to. So if you need any information to follow, find myself on Twitter, Game105. You can find Pru Patel on Twitter, Pru Patel, and we will lock in those picks for you and just keep it rolling. So yeah, don't forget FFLW promo code right there on the screen for you. They'll match up to first time deposit up to $100 for you guys. Yeah, I was like, point the other way. It's like, but they'll match the deposit up to $100 for you guys. It's really, I mean, and make it simple for you. That's $200. You get a wheel and deal with. You know, there's other games you can play too. NFL, NBA, like you can do all the other props for other sports too. So it's not just NFL. So you go check it out. It's just, we'll work it.
Remember, you only had to pick one correct player prop because you got the free one in Bryce Young, even though Aaron doesn't think so.
Yeah, it's a little risky, I guess. Like, the arm might fall off or something. But yeah, like you just, do that and you have fun with it. And it's just, that's what it's all about. Like we're, trying to make you guys some money. If we win, you win. Everybody wins. We keep coming back, doing it all over again. So that's why we're doing this one.
That's what football's for: fantasy and betting. It's fun stuff.
Why don't you give us your prediction for the game? Who do you think is going to win this game?
Oh, interesting. I think the Panthers come out on top, and it's a 17-14 game.
Ooh, nice. That's a low scoring affair, folks. I'll go on the other side. I'm going to take the Bears at home. I get it. It's Tyson Badgett. We're still believing in the Badgett, baby. I just trust the Bears defense a little bit more at home. I think they will. It'll be a kicking fest, like you're talking about. I'm going to go 20-14, just some field goals in there, and just missed opportunities for Carolina. But hey, they get that number one pick. That goes to Chicago. So Chicago really should keep winning this game because they want to get that pick for them. So,
it's just game of
safeties. We both have them going under this affair.
Yeah.
So, you get the under. Go for it. 4-2 Panthers win. Oh, I like it. 3 safeties. That's beautiful. Right. That is beautiful. That's just how we do it, folks. Really just, you want to talk about a barn burner. Now that's a barn burner. Go from there.
Yay, a safety.
Yeah,
finally someone.
One way to score. If you bet a safety, you would probably get insane odds in this game. Like you would get ridiculous odds in this safety. So hey, anybody wants to throw a nice little $5 bet, go bet on the safety, see how it works out for you. I'm gonna clip the hell out of this if it hits.
Oh God, yeah, this might be the first game I do not watch. We'll see. We'll see how I feel.
I always have it on. It is what it is. It's unfortunate no matter the game. I'm like, I can't watch it, and then it's always on. I'm like, the life of a fancy junkie. What can we say? Right? This is
right.
So yeah, should we wrap it up?
We'll wrap it up.
All right. So thank you all for tuning in this week of our Week 10 edition of the Thursday Night Football Super Picks. We look forward to y'all coming back next week in our Week 11 matchup. Hopefully it's an entertaining game. That's all we're hoping for. We move on. We hit the picks. We will keep them rolling. And then, we'll look forward to seeing y'all next Thursday, 2 o'clock Pacific time, 5 o'clock Eastern time. And we'll do this all over again. So hope y'all have a good week and enjoy your football. And we will talk to you then.
Awesome. Have a good weekend, everyone.